who knows where I go next, but I think boxing is just to get my mind back into the competition and back in fighting and something I've always wanted to do. So I think that's where we're gonna that's what's next.
Kris Moutinho, how's everything going today?
It's going great, man. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Now, you were actually supposed to have a fight, if I'm not mistaken, right on September 9th against Kris Moutinho at CES 70, rather, right? What sort of
Yeah,
went
yeah.
down there, man? Why didn't the fight come to fruition?
So I was getting ready to fight. I was about 3 or 4 weeks out, in camp, ready to go, and I was wrestling with one of my teammates who's also was supposed to be on the card, Mitch Raposo, and I was wrestling, and he caught me with one of the takedowns, and I landed all my weight on my knee, bruised up my MCL pretty good. I couldn't really grapple or roll, and couldn't run for the last 3 weeks. I'm just starting to get back into grappling and all that stuff now, so it is it was really unfortunate because I don't like to be that guy, and I feel bad for my opponent and everything else because man, we just want to do this is all we want to do, man. This is all we love. This is all we've been doing for most of our life. So it's kind of sucks when somebody has to pull out of a fight, and I don't like to be that person. So it was shitty, but it's starting to feel better now. I'm back to training, and can't wait to show everybody what I'm about eventually, man. It's been a rough year. It's been a long year for all this stuff. So it's I need to get back out there and do what I love.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And so the knee thing is something I wasn't aware of. What are you 100% recovered now? You said you're back to training. What's sort of the timetable of when you want to get back in the out into the cage?
I'm gonna be back fighting in November. I already have something in the works. You know what I mean. So it was like a 3 or 4 week where I couldn't like 3 or 4 weeks where I couldn't really do anything, like too much. I couldn't really put a lot of pressure on my knee. It's starting to be back to a place where I can do that now. I'm not really. It's not. I don't think it was torn. It wasn't torn or anything. It was just a little
Just
little
bruised, right?
a little bruise on my MCL that they said that it won't take it'll heal. You just can't really going too crazy on it. So it is what it is, man. I'm looking to be back in November. I'm gonna do a little bit of boxing. It's something I've always wanted to do. So I think we got boxing in November.
Really? So have there been any offers for you to box, or have you just been sort of seeking maybe somebody to give you a fight? How's that work?
No, so I got a team. I got my manager. I got my coaches, and my I started right after my O'Malley fight. I started at a boxing gym to get everybody told me I needed to move my head, so started working with a boxing coach, and it's just been something I've always wanted to do. You know what I mean? I've been fighting for 10, 11 years of my life right now. I'm not done with MMA. I just need a little bit, like, things just keep happening, bro, that I'm not going to get into on the on a podcast. You know what I mean? They think fight issues and life issues and everything in Queen involved in that aspect of this sport. And I just need a little bit of time. I'm gonna do a box fight, go back, and then just dance around, man. Get some MMA fights. Try to work my way back into the UFC or wherever else it may take me. There's a lot of cool promotions out there right now, PFL, all these things. So who knows where I go next, but I think boxing is just to get my mind back into the competition and back in fighting and something I've always wanted to do. So I think that's where we're gonna that's what's next.
Yeah, man, you just said it's something you always wanted to do, the boxing stuff, right? And we're not going to get into all the personal stuff. We're here to strictly talk the fighting, and I think that's what the fans want to hear. So you said the boxing, right? When did you want to talk about the boxing? You know, or not? When did you want to fight? Rather, when did you want to box? Get into that ring is what? Because you did say you always wanted to do it, right? But
Yeah.
when were you actually like, all right? Tell them. Let me actually tell my manager that I want a boxing match, not an MMA fight.
That has been like when I started MMA about 10 years ago when I was 19 years old. My coach was my first 3 months into training. He was like, "You want to fight?" And it just went right into MMA. It wasn't like I waited 3 years and I did a bunch of kickboxing to get myself ready and this and that. And then we did MMA. It was right into MMA. And then I never really saw any need to do anything. And then once you go pro, you're stuck. pro. You can't go back and do like amateur in different sports. So it's I never really did like the golden gloves thing and all that stuff like a lot of fighters do. You know what I mean? The kickboxing smokers to get yourself ready to go into an MMA cage. So it's just something I've always wanted to do. I started boxing at like I said, like full at a full boxing gym and doing all the rounds and seeing actually how the game of boxing is. It's different than just MMA. You know what I mean? That's why you're allowed to freaking do all the things you do in boxing that you can't get away with in MMA because there's kicks, there's punches, there's everything. And I've been doing the rounds. I've been having a lot of fun just boxing, man, and just doing all the things and knowing that I can move and I know how to do this stuff and I know the game of boxing. So it's just fun. Give it a try. Test my hat. It's not my main goal anyway. You know what I mean? So just go out there and do what I can, make a little money doing it, and then go back, dance off into MMA and elbow some people in the face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how we.
Absolutely. And I'm sure that well, you said that you want to go back to MMA right after the whole boxing stuff. Obviously, the UFC would always be at the top of the list, right? I wanted to ask you about the UFC because me personally, it felt like you didn't get a fair shake there. Not about the number of fights there before you were gone, but more so, I'd say about the way that the fights were. Like, I'd say in both fights, they were early stoppages. You know what I mean? So the fact that I didn't even see that you were out there and getting finished in fights, and it happened twice, and you were already out of there like before we knew it. So it was weird for me, man. Do you agree with that?
I think hopefully I wish I would have got one more. Hey man, it is what it is though. You know what I mean? I can't explain why they decide to do things. You know what I mean? It's their business, their company, and I was given a fight, my last fight against Guido. Even nobody's a bum in the UFC. I don't care what anybody says, man. It's the best. It's the best division, the best organization in the world with the best depth in every weight class. You know what I mean? I don't care what anybody says, but it is what it is. Like he was a guy that was on a losing streak. They gave him to me to win. Like, and that's why they cut me. You know what I mean? I lost to a guy that I should have beat. I don't care whether the stoppage was quick or early, or if I could have kept going, maybe I would have won the fight. I can't go back in time and change things. I wish I got another shot because I've seen guys lose multiple fights in a row and get 3 or 4 fights to go out there and do it. But man, it was a lesson. It was a lesson learned. You know what I mean? I learned how to deal with that kind of notoriety that I've never dealt with before. You know what I mean? If I do make it back, when I make it back, it'll be a lot easier next time. That time, being in the UFC was really hard for me this past year. Like I said, it was just hard. It was a lot more than what I thought. I thought fighting when you make it to the UFC, it's all easy street from there. Like you know what I mean? You just fight and you don't have to really worry about shit. Nah, it's a whole level of things that you never worried about before that you have to worry about. So it was a lot of it put a lot of pressure on myself. And that's why where I'm at right now is just trying to find the love and not put all this pressure on myself to win, to perform, to show everything what I'm doing. Like I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this most of my life, and this is the only thing that's ever made sense to me. So I know what I'm doing. I'm having a lot of fun fighting and training and doing all this stuff again. And now it's just time to go back out there and show the world one more time who I am.
Absolutely, man. And it looks like you've learned, right? It looks like you're someone who's grown from all these experiences, and I think it only do you better, in my opinion. So credit to you for that. So I got to ask you about that. Were you could take good from any situation, right? I feel like your name's a lot bigger now post UFC, especially when it comes to a fight. Do you think that that's going to be an advantage for you going forward now that people have seen your name out there? You're kind of known for being somebody who's a warrior, right? The way you kept moving forward, especially in the O'Malley fight. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think it'll be easier to find me fights for good and bad reasons. You know what I mean? There's people that want to take my head off, man, make a name off me, and then that's how I like it anyway, man. I'd rather fight the tough guys, and the guys that they're putting out there to for me to win against. Kind of messes me up, man. I overlook them or I do this kind of thing. So it's great, man. That's that aspect of it, but it also gave people a false sense where they can just say whatever they want to me and I'm supposed to take it because I'm famous and or whatever else they think that's the case. So that was tough, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm a fighter. This is what I signed up for, and I'm just ready. I'm just ready to go out there again. You know what I mean? And do what I love. What I love is fighting. What I love is violence. What I love is blood. And these are the kind of fights that I'm ready to bring to the world and show everybody that I can move my head, but I also can get dirty, and y'all will get every time I get in that cage, you'll get a good fight, and they all should have been like that. That last fight was not anything of what I could show. Even that first fight with O'Malley, I showed I can take a punch. I didn't show much else. So now it's time to go out there and show everybody that's been watching me, been following me, been supporting me, that I belong at this level. I belong at the top level, and I belong doing it in front of all of you.
Absolutely. You're talking about boxing, mixed martial arts. You just competed in a grappling tournament, man. Didn't do so bad, I might add, a few months back, right? Is that like a passion for you as well? Can we expect more tournaments for you in the future?
It's a love hate relationship with jujitsu. Like it's fun, it's cool. I got the good things, but those jujitsu tournaments is a long day for me, man. I don't know if I'm gonna be doing too many of those, but it we'll see. You never know.
You've been doing this whole thing for a long time, man. Combat sports, 10 plus years. I gotta ask you something. On a scale of 1 to 10, where's the motivation, the hunger, all that? Where is it right now for you?
Um, the motivation is never been a thing I worried about. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of quotes out there, a bunch of people saying is if you're only worrying about doing this when you're motivated, then you're in trouble. You know what I mean? I'm never motivated. I never want to get out and run. I never want to do any of that shit. It's just this is all I've ever known. You know what I mean? I fucked up when I was 19 years old, and I decided I was going to be a fighter. You know what I mean? Ever since then, I haven't wanted anything else. I still don't want anything else. I look at going and getting a real job and all this stuff. There's a lot of good, a lot of great that comes with the sport, but there's also a lot of bad, and it weighs on you. So right now, it's just getting through that. It's like getting through that and going back out there and doing the only thing my body and my brain and my mind has ever been equipped to do. You know what I mean? The only thing I am is a fighter. You know what I mean? I'm not some big guy worrying about what I'm gonna do afterwards, what's this and that. The only thing I've ever loved is fighting, teaching other people like me that don't really know what they want to do in their life. You know what I mean? I grew up and I didn't really know what I wanted, man. The only thing I've ever wanted was fighting. So I'm just in there trying to maneuver through life and be the guy who does what he loves for a living, not worrying about all the other stuff.
Yeah, man. Sounds good to me, man. It sounds like you really got it all dialed in now based on everything you've been saying, every answer. And I think that can only be a good thing for you, right? Moving forward. I got a couple questions here, man, as we wrap up, and I do appreciate the time. I'm curious, man.
Anytime.
The different hair colors and all that stuff, man. Where did that start coming from?
Uh
Because
that
that's
was
kind of your
COVID,
that's
man.
kind of your identifier now. Like I feel like that's a lot of what you're known for in terms of your appearance now, which is awesome.
Yeah, that was just being bored during COVID, man. I
Okay.
came. My mom was a hairdresser most of my life. You know what I mean? She used to dye my hair when I was a kid and stuff, and it was what it is. So when I was just bored during COVID and working and doing all and training, I was like, hey, fuck it, let's just dye our hair. And if people seem to like it at the end. So it
Yeah.
is what it is. I don't know if I'm gonna keep going with it, or if whatever the situation is. Man, I got to get away from all the things. I want my fighting to be in my identifier, not so much what's the city going to look like when he comes fight night. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. We got to see how it goes. I'm just can't wait to get back in there and put on the show.
You're dialed in, man. I love it. One last question here, man. You're from Portugal, right? I see you sort of rep that a lot. I was born in Spain, so I feel obligated to ask almost where what part of Portugal are you from? You got
So
family
no,
there?
my family was right outside of Porto. I'm
Okay.
not from Portugal. I'm from the United States. I'm
Right.
from
You
both
were
of my
born in the US, but you have Portuguese family though.
Yeah, I got fam that still has houses and stuff. I don't know the exact little city, you know what I mean, that they're from, but it's not far from Porto and all that stuff. So I can't speak the language. I've been trying to learn a little bit here and there, but it's the biggest part of my roots. It's the only thing in my family that I grew up going to my avó's house and learning about listening to them all talk and seeing all that stuff and having the Portuguese parties where they're all going crazy doing the weird Portuguese dances. You know what I mean? Everybody's got an accordion for no reason. You know what I mean? So it's like it's all these things that it's like I think I'm the hard headed stupid kid I am for a reason. I'm doing this how I am for a reason because of those roots. I see other Portuguese kids. We're all stupid, hard headed idiots, and stubborn to a fault. You know what I mean? And that's the reason I've gotten as far as I have in life. You know what I mean? I've seen a lot of people do this sport, and I've seen a lot of people fall out of this sport, and I'm still here. I'm still kicking. I have nothing left to prove in it. You know what I mean? I just want to go out there and do it because it's what I love. You know.
Absolutely, man. Well, regardless of when and who you fight, we're always going to keep a close eye on your future. We wish you nothing but the best, man. You're still young in your career, so I'm sure there's a lot left on the table for you. Thanks for coming on the show, man.
Thank you. Anytime, brother.